Hello one and all, Jasper here, and with House of the Dragon wrapping up its first season, it seems like a good idea to put all my thoughts together and give a condensed review on it as a whole, just in case you don't have 10 hours to watch the discussions me and DJ Fella had in regards to the show, because at that point, you might as well just watch the entire season yourself. Heck, if you don't have time to watch this video, then let me just give you the actual number and not the clickbait one on the thumbnail. 6 out of 10. Slightly above average for me. This is a real shame because this show has some jaw-dropping moments that surpass its older sibling Game of Thrones, and even the source material it's based on in Fire and Blood. Going in, I didn't think I would give a rat's ass about Viserys Targaryen, and I would just be waiting for him to die. But no. Viserys, thanks to the wonderful performance of Paddy Considine, is easily my favorite character in not only this show, but in the entire franchise, and it's partially due to the massive changes from the source material. And he isn't alone. Alicent Hightower is also a large departure from the original and comes off as an overall improvement and more sympathetic character rather than the evil bitchy stepmother she comes off in the books. In fact, I can say the casting for everyone was fantastic in regards to acting, even characters who I was worried about. I wrote off Matt Smith assuming the bow tie wearing fez enthusiast doctor was a terrible choice for the rogue prince Daemon Targaryen. But the man ate up every scene he was in, becoming my second favorite character. His acting is enough to make me overlook that he doesn't quite look the part of a great warrior, though sadly, I cannot say that for everyone. I stand by that the entire cast are all very talented actors, but not all of them are good enough to justify the massive appearance changes from the books. Case in point, Corlys Velaryon. Originally a white guy who got a tan from sailing the seas is now black, and he isn't the only race change in the franchise, but unlike characters such as Salladhor Saan and Xaro Xhoan Daxos, it actually harms the story in his case. Even if you want to pretend the medieval world of Westeros is incredibly progressive in regards to race relations despite their bigotry of different cultures and religions, they pick the single worst family to race swap. By making Corlys black and thus his children mixed race, it changes the entire dynamic of Rhaenyra's children from being plausibly deniable they are bastards to there is no way anyone would believe these crackers are Laenor's sons. And this harms Corlys Velaryon as a character. They can't make him believe these kids are legit because that would make him look like an idiot since there is no reasonable person who would think they are legit. So they gave him this bullshit excuse of how history doesn't remember blood, it remembers names. This makes no goddamn sense because those fake grandkids of his will change their names when they sit on the Iron Throne. Both his name and blood will not be remembered, and his own seat will pass over to a bastard who has no ties to him. But do you know the worst part about this? This could easily be fixed, but the writers didn't even put an ounce of effort into it. All they needed to do was make Corlys pissed that his son was cucked and have no interest in supporting these bastards. But Rhaenyra offers him a deal. Wed his grandchildren to these bastards, and not only will this make the next generation actually of his blood, but throw on top that once Jacaerys sits on the Iron Throne, he will keep the name Velaryon. Done! Now you have a character whose actions don't conflict with his motivation. Option 2, race swap more characters. Change the characters of how strong, black, and make those brown-haired bastards a bit darker, and bam! Plausible deniability. But no, we get this half-assed token switch that has no thought put into it. Well, I'm already being negative, so might as well keep the train rolling. Corlys isn't the only one who suffers as an adaptation, it's just that his are mostly visual that impact his character. There are plenty of other examples. I know I just praised Matt Smith, but Daemon Targaryen is a prime example, as they added scenes that make him an even worse character than one could interpret from the books, such as him killing his wife in a manner that boggles the mind on how illogical it was, and the removing of scenes that show he isn't a massive power-hungry cunt. Okay, he is still a massive power-hungry cunt, but they take out some of his best moments, like when he comforts his children after the passing of their wife and mother, and actually mourning her pass rather than giggling at her funeral. Another example is Aegon Targaryen. While a party boy who had no interest in taking the throne at first, and even stated what kind of brother steals his sister's crown, he is only convinced when he is told that if he does not, then his life and the lives of his children and siblings will be ended. Now we get a rapist who watches children with filed teeth fight to the death, and takes about the same effort one needs to rip up a tissue to be convinced to steal his sister's throne. Okay, that's enough being a negative Nancy. Let's get back to some of the good stuff. There are a lot of scenes in this show that are fantastic. Viserys walking to the Iron Throne, his speech at the dinner table, his drunk rambling in front of the bonfire. starting to realize all my favorite scenes are around Viserys. Oh, I love Storm's End in the final episode. That was masterfully done. Yet, in every single episode, with the only exception of the fourth one, there are scenes that are just ridiculous, and I have to wonder who thought that these were a good idea. Episode 1. A bloody brawl breaks out during a joust and none of the guards interfere to try and stop it. Episode 2. Otto Hightower parlaying with Daemon Targaryen, making him look like a brain-dead idiot. Episode 3. Rhaenyra kissing a boar in that terrible battle with Daemon that is somehow worse than the Battle of the Bastards. Episode 5. Criston Cole beating a man to death in front of everyone and receiving no consequences. Episode 6. Laena Velaryon sneaking away while pregnant and giving birth to commit suicide murder by dragonfire. Episode 7. Corlys' retarded motivation, and as a book reader I have to mention Laenor Velaryon being kept alive. Episode 8, the final scene where Alicent misunderstood Viserys talking about a prophecy that is never going to come true, unless of course that Jon Snow sequel show is going to deliver. Episode 9, just all of Episode 9, but especially that dumb dragon scene. Episode 10, Otto Hightower again coming to talk to dragon riders with no dragon of his own. I don't know if all of these scenes were written by the same person, but I know that all the writers are at fault for letting these slip through the cracks. Either call out these garbage scenes or fire the guy responsible for them. Maybe I'm lucky and Miguel Sapochnik was the reason these scenes exist, and with his exit, the second season will no longer suffer from this level of idiotic writing. But I doubt it, because this strikes me as the fault of a team, not an individual. Every other aspect of the series is top-notch though. The costumes are great and a treat to see whenever a new character shows up. And the music, like the original, is fantastic. They brought back Raymond Djawadi, I'm so sorry, who knocks it out of the park every time. Though I wish we got more original works from him, as they reuse some older themes from the Game of Thrones show, like the opening. Also, before I give my final statement, I noticed that a lot of people seem to have real issues with the time jumps that take place, though I personally had no issues in that regard. Maybe it's because I read the books, but there was never a moment in the show where I felt like I needed to go back to see what happened. There were some scenes where I wanted to know what happened, such as the relationship between Rhaenyra and Harwin Strong, but I didn't need it. Except for Criston beating a man to death. I mean, seriously! What the fuck happened, and how did he get away with it? But as much as I can praise all of these other aspects, like any other story, the most important part is the writing. A polished turd is still a turd, and there is a worrying amount of spectacle over substance in this show, and I hope they break away from it in the future. It's like Infinity War versus Endgame. Endgame was a large spectacle with tons of amazing scenes that even today I go back to and watch. But Infinity War is the superior film, despite not being as big of a spectacle, because the writing is more solid. As a wiser and more experienced YouTuber once said,
"Stories are not scenes in isolation. They are not just the payoffs or a string of cool moments completely divorced from one another. A story is a sequence of events. The sequence matters. How the events are connected matters."
I hope this first season is the worst season of House of the Dragon, because then when the show is over, I can actually recommend it to my friends, something I can't do with the original Game of Thrones. With all of that squared away, naturally, I want to hear all of your thoughts in regards to the show. What do you agree with, but especially what you disagree with? I can't get any better if I just lock myself in an echo chamber. Be safe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.